Spectacular and even more smoke than at the EA press conference. Best of the PlayStation spirit. Thank you all so much and have a wonderful evening.
Hey, how's it going everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Frassix, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite video games of all time. Actually, I think it is my second most favorite video game of all time, right behind the first, The Last of Us. And what game am I talking about? You may be asking yourself. Well, it is none other than Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. And I can't believe that on the day that I upload this video, it is going to be turning 5 years old. Like, it's absolutely crazy because around the May 2016 time when this was released, there was a lot going on in my personal life, you know, like Dangerous Woman by Ariana Grande came out, and I joined the Air Force, and I also got to play this game, which is absolutely crazy to think that it's already been 5 years since that happened. And like I said, this game has had a profound impact on me, and you may be wondering, how obsessed am I with Uncharted 4? Well, for starters, I'm wearing the shirt that was originally released with the release of Uncharted 4. This was released on a PlayStation Store, so I got it. Also got another shirt that I got from GameStop. I got this hoodie with the original logo for the original concept of the game, and I used to wear this everywhere, and I still do wear it occasionally. In all my videos, this little guy is always in the corner, and it is my first ever Funko Pop, which is, of course, had to be Nathan Drake. I got this recently, which is the Uncharted 4 version of Game Informer, which is really cool because it has a lot of like behind the scenes stuff. I got this big box right here, which is the art books for the Uncharted trilogy as well as Uncharted 4. If you open it up, it has like the cool map thing with a little bit of blood, so I thought that was pretty cool. And then here is the Uncharted trilogy art book, and here is the Uncharted 4 art book, which is really cool because it has like all the stuff, and it looks so dope. And it also came with this lithograph, which is from the Madagascar sequence in Uncharted 4, so I thought that was really cool as well. I got this Uncharted 4 watch, which I do wear occasionally, and it actually works. And on release day, I managed to get one of these, which is the collector's edition for the guide for the game, which has basically just all the hints and everything, which is pretty awesome. And also on launch day, I managed to get, well, I pre-ordered the collector's edition, and this is my first ever collector's edition that I've ever gotten for PlayStation, which I was really happy about because I absolutely love statues and everything. So it was really great that I could get this Libertalia edition, which includes a bunch of online stuff. It's a steelbook. It even has these stickers in it, which I've actually never opened before. Like, they're still in the package and everything, because I don't know, I just really love that. And of course, the main reason why I got the Libertalia edition is for the Nathan Drake statue, and this has been with me everywhere. Even after I joined the military, this was with me everywhere, and basically all the places I've been to in the military so far. Looks absolutely amazing. I also got the vinyl for Uncharted 4, which I absolutely love, from Mondo. It looks really dope. And I also got this cool coin for Henry Avery's sigil, which I thought was pretty awesome. I got multiple ones of these and a gold one also. And basically, my interior decorating style is influenced by not just Uncharted 4, but the entire Uncharted franchise. And I also got my Nathan Drake tattoo from one of the sketches that was done for the intro for the game. And you may be thinking to yourself, like, this guy is absolutely crazy, and I kind of am, but it's for good reason, because I am just, in a way, not obsessed with Uncharted, but just it's had such a tremendous impact on my life, especially the fourth one, from when it was first announced until the release date and then onwards. Like, it definitely had a profound impact on me as a person. And in this video, like I said, I'm gonna be talking about Uncharted 4 and how it has influenced me, and why this is one of my favorite video games of all time. And I'm also going to be talking about a few of the things that Naughty Dog could have done better in the game, because as much as I love the game, there are certain parts and aspects of the story and the game overall that I wish could have been done better. You know what, just sit back, relax, and I hope that you all enjoy why Uncharted 4 is one of my favorite video games of all time. Okay, so first off, I think I should explain what Uncharted is if you don't know what Uncharted is about. It is basically a PlayStation franchise. Okay, so the first game, called Uncharted Drake's Fortune, was released in 2007. It's really cool because I remember the first time that I actually played this game was because of my dad, because he had a PlayStation 3, and if you didn't know back then, you could just download a bunch of demos from the PlayStation Store, and this was one of the demos. But yeah, I played the demo, I absolutely loved it, and I didn't realize at the time, but my dad also got the second one. Like, he already had it and I didn't really know about it, but then I realized that, oh, you know, it's like right there. So I decided to play it, and it took me a while to play it, but I remember like after the first time that I was done playing it, I was just like, oh my gosh, I absolutely love this game. And this was released in 2009, and it's absolutely crazy because like I think the first time that I actually played this game was probably in 2010 or very early 2011. So of course I was late, but at the time that this was released, I was only like 12 years old, and I didn't really play like, you know, like action adventure games. I thought shooting people was bad, yada yada yada. So it was definitely a different time back then, but I'm glad that I did play it. And then that leads into 2011 when Uncharted 3 was released, and I remember like this is actually the first like game that I remember being advertised like in stores and stuff, because I remember there was like life-size posters and like Best Buy and everything, and I remember actually getting this and like begging my parents to get this. So I think I got this like around or like a month or two after launch day, and I absolutely loved it so much. I think that this trilogy right here is one of the greatest trilogies like ever, so I love that. And then that leads into 2013 when The Last of Us was released by Naughty Dog, and like I said before, this is my favorite video game of all time, and for good reason. But when this was released, it definitely took me away from the hype of Uncharted, but the hype was always there for Uncharted. But then there was that teaser trailer that was released at the end of 2013 alongside the Left Behind DLC, but this was for the future Uncharted game coming to the PS4. We didn't have a title for it or anything, we just had a narration from one of the actors that was originally supposed to be on the original Uncharted 4, and he was just voicing over, you know, talking about like, you owe me, and like this revenge kind of plot, and it was really cool and it got me super hyped. Then we go into the beginning of 2014 where Amy Hennig, the creator of Uncharted, and a few other individuals from the company left Naughty Dog, and I remember reading a bunch of headlines saying, oh, this is the end of Uncharted 4, like it's not gonna be great, it's blah 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 blah, and I was actually pretty worried, not gonna lie, about that. Then Neil Druckmann and Bruce Straley, the people that were behind the first The Last of Us, just tasked to make Uncharted 4. And I was just like, okay, they did an amazing job with The Last of Us, so I'm sure it's gonna be a lot more serious than the other entries in the franchise, because as much as I love like the lightheartedness of the first 3 games, it was definitely time for a little bit of a change. And that change came to us in the form of a trailer that was released at E3 in 2014, and E3 2014 was a big moment for me because that was the first time I actually watched an E3. Like before that, I didn't even know that E3 was a thing. I didn't know that people went to these like conventions just to watch and celebrate games. And I remember like when I found out, and I was like, I definitely want to watch it because Uncharted 4 is going to be there. I knew Uncharted 4 was going to be released, but I didn't know when it was. So I watched the whole thing, and I absolutely love, like, it's super nostalgic when I watched the E3 2014 press conference. But then there was the end of the showcase where Uncharted 4 was released. Of course, it was a cinematic trailer, but that was the first time we got to see Nathan Drake in a PlayStation 4 rendering. It was super awesome. It was super dark, and I remember being so hyped. Like, I remember like watching that trailer like every single day, like legit every single day, because I had nothing better to do. I was still in high school, I didn't have much going on. So I remember like being so hyped for that and super excited that it was actually gonna come. And then A Thief's End, like when that entire title came onto the screen, I was just freaking out. I was just super happy. My heart was so full. I was so pumped. I was ready for that game to come out. And of course, that trailer was released. It said that it was going to be coming in 2015. More to come on that. Then later on in the year, PlayStation had their first ever PlayStation experience, which was their own convention for all things PlayStation. And of course, the first game that was ever shown at a PlayStation experience was Uncharted 4, the demo on the island, and I was just absolutely blown away. Like I was just so happy. Like of course, in retrospect, like this wasn't supposed to be like a big set piece or whatever. It was more so just to showcase the mechanics and the improvements that they made to Uncharted 4. Like when Nathan Drake had that grappling hook and like he was just like, he grabbed onto the branch and then he swung and then he like hit that guy and he landed on top of that guy. I was just like so shook, and I'm pretty sure everyone in the audience was shook as well. This was the first time ever that we had a chance to get a first look at Nathan Drake's brother, which I didn't like. When he said, "Come along, little brother, we got a treasure to find," like I was just like, what the hell is this? Like, is that just like in term of endearment, like, you know, like brother, or it's like actual brother? And I remember like people making so much fuss about that. Like, does he have a real brother? Like, I just remember like when I first watched that, I was just like my mind was blown. I was just like, he has a brother after the first 3 games where he doesn't mention him at all. Like, what? I don't know. I was super excited, and I remember playing that demo every single night, multiple times. Then on Christmas in 2014, I got my PlayStation 4 because I know it was released in 2013, but I didn't really get it until the end of 2014, and that was mostly due to me just wanting to get it for Uncharted 4, but also for The Last of Us Remastered and all the other games. So I got a bundle for the PlayStation 4 alongside the digital version of The Last of Us and the physical version of Grand Theft Auto, and I absolutely love both of those games so much. They're within my top 10 games of all time, as you guys already know. And that leads into 2015, and 2015 was a very big year for me. In June of that year, I graduated high school, and then I got ready to go into college. So we basically were in the dark for the game until E3 of 2015. And again, that was my second time watching E3 for Sony, and that did not disappoint at all. It was super great. It was super amazing. There were so many announcements and hype for all the games. And of course, they had to end E3 again with Uncharted 4, and this is probably one of my favorite releases that they've ever done in terms of like teaser trailers and just trailers and gameplay in general, because this is the Uncharted 4 Madagascar town chase sequence, and I absolutely was blown away. Naughty Dog delivered so much. Like, I remember the first time watching that, I was just absolutely blown away. Like, it was like in a full marketplace, you know, a gunfight, the car chase sequence, just driving down that windy road and the traversing of the Jeep. I remember like that was the first time that we actually saw him like driving a Jeep, and I was just absolutely blown away because we never really got to like drive a vehicle before. Of course there was that boat thing that we had to drive up the river in Uncharted 1, but that doesn't really count because that was like super hard. But anyways, I absolutely love that showcase so much, and everyone else did too. Everyone was applauding. I remember like people praising that gameplay sequence so much, and who knew that that would end up being my favorite part of the game. But anyways, E3 came around, and then I had to go to my summer college orientation, and then during that time there was the extended version of that demo sequence that was released online, and we got to see everything passed when he swung onto the rope, and we got to see all that thing. And then we also got to see Elena for the first time, and I just absolutely love that continuation, that extension. Like, that honestly should have been shown at E3. That would have blown people's minds, like, honestly. But I'm glad that they did save it, you know, for the playable stuff for E3, and then they did release it onto their YouTube channel as well. And also in June of that year, we got Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection, which is basically all the combinations of these 3 games onto a remastered version for the PlayStation 4. And that was because in September of that year, Naughty Dog announced that they would not be meeting their 2015 deadline and instead would be releasing it in March of 2016. And I was super devastated, but in my heart I knew that if I wanted to have a great game, and if I wanted them to release a great game, I would just have to accept that I would not be able to play that game that year, which I was okay with until later on in the year, but I'll tell you more about that in a bit. And then in the second ever PlayStation experience that Sony has had, got a first look at Uncharted 4, which was again the opening game that was to introduce PlayStation Experience 2015. And this was a sequence between Nathan and Sam, and this was also the first time that we saw branching dialogue, which I was just like, oh no. Like, a lot of people were just like, oh, can you like have alternate endings, blah blah blah. But then I was thinking to myself, like, I was kind of worried that that was gonna be the case, because like I'm just so used to having one storyline, just one beginning, one middle, one end. So I was kind of worried that that was not going to be a thing for this game. Then I realized that Naughty Dog has also done a few of these things before, specifically with Left Behind, because they did do like branching dialogue sequences, as in like you can choose dialogue that they show you and it wouldn't really affect the game at all. So I knew that this wasn't going to be that big of a deal. Then at the end of 2015 is basically when my life in a way changed, because I decided that I was gonna go to a recruiter to try and join the Air Force, because I wasn't doing well in college. So I basically had to like go into the military just to survive, because that was like basically my easy way out of college. I was just so ready, but also I was just really worried that I would not be able to play, because I honestly wouldn't know what would happen the following year. And speaking of the following year is 2016, which is possibly one of my favorite, if not my favorite year of my life so far. At the very beginning, like the first week or two of 2016, I went to a recruiter's office by my college. I decided I wanted to do the Air Force. I talked to them. They basically sent me to MEPS, which is basically where you do all these tests, like physical and like brain tests, just to see if you're qualified. And I was pretty much qualified. I got my job and I swore in to the Air Force, and I was really excited but really nervous. And I'm telling you this not just only because of contextual background for my Air Force career, but also because I was kind of worried, because you know I swore in and I basically just had to wait for when they were going to be shipping me out to basic. But I didn't know when that was going to happen, because I was just like, I literally just wanted to play Uncharted 4. That's the only thing that I asked for. Literally, I just remember that was the only thing. Like, I didn't care about anything else that I did between the time I swore in until I left for basic training. I just wanted to play Uncharted 4, because if it was released when I was in basic, I would be devastated, because I didn't have really access to my phone whatsoever. So I really didn't, and I'm pretty sure I wouldn't know when I would be playing again after that, because I would have to go to tech school after I graduate, and then like my first duty station. It was very like unclear, and I was just very worried at the time that I would not be able to play the game that I've been hyping up so much, so long, for many years. But the only thing that I could really do was wait. So I just had to basically just transition out of college and just go into a normal life of dormancy until I could leave. So in February there was a tweet that PlayStation released, and I remember it being captioned, I think like, "Are you ready to seek your fortune?" And it was like a screenshot of Nathan Drake prying open some vines and something, and I was just like, this is the story trailer, because we basically got every trailer, and the game was supposed to be released in March. So I was just like, I was really worried that we weren't gonna get like a story trailer or anything, but we did. It was released in February, like I said, and I was just like mind blown, and I was just like, I'm really ready to play this game because it absolutely looked amazing. Because it was beautiful, yet it didn't give too much away of the story, because I hate when trailers just basically tell the entire story of whatever it's advertising, whether it be like for a movie, a game, anything. Like, so I'm glad it didn't really spoil anything really. And I remember like I used to watch a few reactions back in the day before I was a reaction channel. Now I used to watch this YouTuber called Skylonox, and he reacted to the trailer as well as a bunch of the rest of the trailers for Uncharted and other games. And I just remember like that was just one of my favorite YouTubers at the time for that kind of stuff. And sadly he's no longer active. I really don't know what he's doing nowadays, but I just wish him the best. And if he ever does watch this, you know, like he definitely did have a big impact on me at that time as well. Then the following month in March, I transitioned out and basically moved out of the dorms from college, and I moved back with my parents because basically I lived in California and I went to college in California, so I could literally just drive home every weekend. But for this instance, I was driving home permanently because I was getting out of college, and I was just really excited but also super nervous. And it didn't help that in that same month Uncharted 4 was delayed until May 10th, and I was super worried at that point because like I said, I swore in January, and I really didn't know when they would ship me out to basic. And I was just like, I was literally accepting the fact that I would not be able to play this game, and I was just really upset and super worried, but I really couldn't do anything about it. So I just went on with my life, and I tried to basically just fill up time I had left with my family in California, just to do all the things that I wanted to do. So because of Uncharted 4 and like this whole pirate thing, like I was really in like a pirate phase. So, you know, like I went to like, you know, San Diego, and I just wanted to go to like port towns, and I wanted to just explore. So I went to Vegas. I remember taking a picture with this ship. I forgot which hotel it was, but I thought that was super awesome. I also got to basically explore Red Rock, which is close there, but it just gave me like this absolutely adventure feeling, and I absolutely love that feeling so much. And that was really just the beginning of me like wanting to venture out and do things in the world. And then I don't know when this happened, but I finally got a date that I would be shipping out to basic training, and that date was May 17th. And I was just absolutely so happy, because if you're not tracking, Uncharted 4 was delayed until May 10th. So that literally means that a week later after that, I would be shipping out. Like literally a whole week after it got released, I would be shipping out to basic training. And I don't know how lucky I got with that, but I am so happy, because literally my leave date for basic training could have been moved up a week, or Uncharted 4 could have been delayed another week or something along those lines, and I would just not be able to play it until after basic training, which would not feel the same. I knew it would not feel the same. So I'm just super thankful that I did manage to get that date of May 17th. And I was just so happy that I could experience Uncharted 4. And before I knew it, May came along. My birthday is May 1st, so I got to celebrate that with my family. I was still in the Uncharted mode, so I had to do some Uncharted things. But then finally, May 10th came around, and I remember being so happy and so excited that I was able to pick it up at Best Buy. I was also able to pick up not only the Libertalia edition, but I also got to get the collector's strategy guide. I was just driving home, and I think my family still had to like go to work and everything, so it was literally just me in the house, and I was just super ready. Like I basically just unboxed the entire Libertalia collection. I took a bunch of pictures and videos of me like posing with all that stuff. And then I finally got to play the game, and oh my gosh, that game was absolutely amazing. It blew my mind. I remember starting that game probably late that evening of May 10th, and I remember playing that game the entire night all the way up until, and then I finished it like around lunchtime the next day. So you know that I was definitely wanting to go from beginning to end because I didn't want anything spoiled for me. But then, you know, I finished it, you know, the game ended, and I was just super happy. And then the following week I shipped out to basic training, and that is basically that. And yeah, it's just absolutely crazy that it has been exactly 5 years since that actually happened. And oh my gosh, like I absolutely love that game so much. Like, there's just so much I love about Uncharted 4. I really don't know where to begin. Like, I can talk about graphics first because honestly it looks so great, and it's still one of the best looking games on the PlayStation 4 5 years later. Like, that tells you something, that Naughty Dog really worked their butts off to really make this look like one of the best games that they've ever produced. And of course that's on top of, you know, like them releasing The Lost Legacy and The Last of Us Part 2. So they just only get better with their games, and it still looks amazing. I definitely like the more grounded approach that they took to this game as compared to the first 3 games, because the first 3 games basically just like had this fun, whimsical feel to it. It definitely had some magic elements to it, or some supernatural elements. But for this game, it was more so just grounded in reality. It was more focused on the characters, and I just really love the nostalgic factor that came with this, because not only did it reference the first 3 games, it also did Crash Bandicoot, which I thought that was a really awesome Easter egg as well. And like I said, this game basically influenced my decorating style. I printed out some of the sketches from the intro sequence, and I basically put them around my place. I made everything very adventure themed, and like I said, I got this Uncharted tattoo of Nathan Drake. Of course, this is from the first game. Actually, see here, it's like, here's Nathan Drake, and then here's my tattoo. That's basically what this is about, but this was from the sketch that was done in Uncharted 4, so I got that to commemorate all the Uncharteds. But with all that amazingness comes a few critiques, and I have 3 critiques of the game that I wish could have been done better or included or something. So here we go. So the first one, which I don't know if it was just me, but I felt like everything in this game was taken a little bit too seriously, or it was a little bit too dramatic. Like, I get it that they came from The Last of Us, but the difference is that The Last of Us, like, all the serious moments felt so dramatic sequences, and the very serious parts of the story, they made sense. Like, they felt natural for that moment. They didn't feel too dramatic or anything. But I felt like for Uncharted 4, they were so serious all the time, and they made things in a way a bigger deal than they had to be. Like, when like Sam and Nate would be talking, it would be so dramatic, especially like during that beginning part where they escape the orphanage. Like, it was just so dramatic. And also the instances between Elena and Nate, like, although those are my favorites in Uncharted 4, I felt like they were definitely serious as well. Like, they were just so dramatic. But again, I'm not bashing on it because it still works, but it's just something that, you know, it's just repetitive, and you get a feel and you kind of notice those things as you're playing. My second gripe is that there weren't enough set pieces. Like, I get it, like, there were a few like big moments in Uncharted 4. The only real main big set pieces that I remember are, of course, the Madagascar chase or car chase sequence and the building falling down in Libertalia. And besides that, like, there weren't that many set pieces, which I was kind of disappointed about, because like in Uncharted 2 and Uncharted 3, there were multiple set pieces. There were a lot of big moments. There was just like a lot going on there that I felt like they could have done more of, especially since I heard that there was a lot of content cut from Uncharted 4. Like, for example, there was like this crane sequence that was supposed to be a big set piece, but that never made it into the game, unfortunately, which I really wish that it could have, but that meant that it would have probably been delayed even more, which I'm kind of glad that that didn't happen. And then my final gripe about Uncharted 4 is that there wasn't a big boss fight. Like, I get it that Uncharted isn't known for its like grand finales, I guess. Like, I guess out of all the games that were released for Uncharted, the franchise, my favorite ending has to be the ending of Uncharted Lost Legacy, because I felt like that was a really big finale. You know, it paid tribute to all the past games, but all at the same time, it definitely ended with a literal bang. So basically, I just wish that maybe there could have been more of a dramatic fight. I don't know, I saw in the concept art that there was supposed to be like like the sword sequence, but it was supposed to be like in different places. I wish they could have like done something more than just be in that room full of treasure. I'm pretty sure I have a little bit more of gripes here and there, but basically those are just my main 3 things. But those 3 problems that I have with the game, my love for the game just basically dwarfs all those problems. I can literally look past those problems, because at the end of the day, overall, that game is what I love so much. That game inspired me to do so many things. I love that game so much. So to Naughty Dog and to everyone who worked on Uncharted 4 and The Lost Legacy and the past 3 Uncharteds, thank you so much for a memorable franchise that basically will be with me forever and that I will take with me wherever I go. And it literally just makes me feel good. Like, literally, when I have kids, or if I do have kids, I'm gonna make them play Uncharted from the first one all the way until the 4th one, or however many games they make, because I think that they're gonna be making another game, or they could have been making another game, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Then there's also the Uncharted movie that's going to be coming out next year featuring Tom Holland, which I'm really excited about, and hopefully I can attend the premiere in LA if there is a premiere in LA, because I really want that to be a thing, and I just want to see it on the big screen because I just love Uncharted, like I said, and I have faith in that project, unlike a lot of other people. And I did make a rant video about it. If you guys want to see that, the link for that will be in the description below. That's pretty much it for me, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really did enjoy sharing my love for Uncharted 4 with you guys. So do you guys have any similar stories to mine? Do you guys were you guys there when the game was released? Did you guys pre-order the game? Were you guys there when they released all the teasers and stuff? Like, what do you guys think of this game? Just let me know in the comments below. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, all the usual things, follow me on my social media accounts. Just keep up with everything Uncharted 4 and Naughty Dog and The Last of Us and all gaming things that I do. And until the next video, the wonder won't stop. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Boo.